assessment, preliminary assessment?
Let me first preface by offering my deepest condolences to the families of the bereaved and my prayers that they find survivors. In fact, my cousin sister works in the civil hospital where the aircraft crashed. She was unable to talk because there was quite some smoke. She was telling me that there is a student hostel immediately adjacent to the building in which the aircraft crashed, and there are students who are not accounted for. So, again, prayers that they have not been victims of this crash and they may have just stepped out of the building. So that is where I'm going to preface it. I was listening to what Mark was saying. Yes, this is the first quote unquote accident. There have been, I think, I'm not sure if there has been a hull loss earlier due to the grounding. For sure, India's AAIB, Air Accidents Investigation Board, will be involved. And from the United States, you will get the NTSB because it is the aircraft is made in the United States. I don't see EASA playing any role because they are the European regulator. Definitely, there will be representatives from Boeing and from GE because this was a Gen X engine. The launch customer was All Nippon Airways in, I forget the exact date, but they used the Rolls-Royce engine on their 787s. Japan Airlines and Air India, they used the General Electric Gen X engine, and there was an issue right at the beginning which delayed deliveries of the GE equipped or rather GE powered 787s. So this was delivered in January 2014, but its serial number is 26. That means this was the 26th aircraft or 787 that was made. But as I said, 11 years is nothing in terms of this aircraft. It's a very modern aircraft, as Mark said very correctly. Modern systems on board. I I see the video, and obviously there has been a loss of lift. Why that has been a loss of lift is what I think everybody's going to focus on. From what I could discern from the ADSB data, the aircraft was traveling at roughly around 174 knots, which is close to 350 kilometers. It achieved a height of right around 700 odd feet. It was ascending at roughly about 900 feet per minute, which is pretty decent for immediately after takeoff. So I mean, this has happened literally a minute or two after takeoff. The ADSB data shows that it has happened within a minute or so of liftoff. So, and you can see the landing gear is still down. So why they have had such a major loss of lift? The General Electric Gen X engines, if you see, they power all the 777s in the world. They power the 747s and a good number of 787s, and they are a very, very, very reliable engine. To the extent, I think, you can see India operates, Air India operates the San Francisco to India flights, and they spend large periods of time over the North Pole near the Siberian Arctic, very far away from airports. And the GE engines are rated to allow pilots to fly as far as 6 hours away from the nearest airport. That's how reliable these engines are. And whether it's regulators or designers, they feel confident in terms of the engine reliability that it will not fail. Even if one engine fails, an aircraft is certified to at least take off. So it may not be able to maintain high altitude, but it'll definitely take off. And tests are done. In fact, there are videos online where there's been a case of a Lufthansa A321 taking off from Frankfurt, and a bird got sucked into its engine, and the aircraft took off. So I don't want to speculate. Surely there's been a loss of lift, but why that has happened is very difficult to say.
Is it unusual? Is it unusual for both engines to? I presume this would have been a result of both engines. There was a mayday call that was issued by the pilots.
Correct.
Of course, the ATC didn't have time to respond because obviously there was very little reaction time. But
Right.
is it usual for both engines to pack up?
No, sir. That's what I'm saying. It is unusual for even one engine to fail. That's what I was saying. The GE engines, this is based, the Gen X engine was a derivative of the very famous GE 90 series engines, which are extremely long-lived engines. I can't even hazard a guess maybe Mark will know how many GE90 total family engines, but I
हाँ
would
जी
venture to say
there's an accident but ਹੁਣ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਖਬਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਰਥਨਾ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿੰਨੇ all those who were on board should be all right and we should await the news. I don't think one should speculate on that.
ਸਰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਭਾਜਪਾ ਨੇ ਚਾਰਜ ਵੀ ਸਰ
हाँ जी वो तो पहले यार खबर तो ले लो पूरी.
Well, viewers, there are all sorts of course, inputs that are coming in. We don't want to really lend anything to any rumor. So we're going to continue to stick with the official record that we're being shared moment to moment by the authorities. I can tell you that the last update, and Devesh Agarwal is here with us and we're going to stick with him. But I want to quickly go across for more updates to Payal. Payal, now we know a few things, for example, that this particular flight did send out a mayday call. The pilots did call for help. There was very little time for the ATC to do anything about it, and clearly for the pilots to also react. It was a craft laden with ATC, which explains why there was this huge ball of fire and flame that rose up into the horizon. But what are the updates you have, Payal, right now for us to share?
You know, Rahul, of course, the investigation teams are on their way, and it's just for them to come out and do the entire investigation. You know, of course, a lot of talks have been doing the rounds as far as the, the efficiency of these engines are concerned. The expert that you were just speaking to, as in terms of what could be the reason as well, we do not want to speculate at this point in time. And added us, the government has also assured us that they will be giving us timely updates, from time to time, telling us what really is happening. But the man whose soundbite that you just played right now will definitely, Rahul, know a thing or two about how the aviation industry really works. Hardeep Puri has very successfully led the country as a civil aviation minister. It was during his regime that the entire merger of Air India and Vistara took place, and the Tatas took over as well. So he definitely will know a thing or two about the technicalities as far as that is really concerned. But like I said, at this point in time, the government of the day wants to make an effort to have all the hands on the deck, whether it's the rescue and relief operation that is being, of course, led by the Gujarat state government, and therefore you have the Union Home Minister, who is also a member of parliament from Gandhinagar, which is, of course, the capital city of Gujarat. He's rushing there. He also, he also controls the disaster management teams across the entire country. So his being present there on ground will also give a lot of solace to the locals once he goes there and gets the situation on ground. And a short time, after which, of course, Rammohan Naidu, civil aviation minister, very young in his civil aviation ministry days, his first year just about getting complete, reaching there as well. So obviously that's going to be a all hands on the deck approach that has been put in place. Bhupendra Patel, in fact, has also spoken to Union Home Minister Amit Shah in the past, and has also spoken to Rammohan Naidu as well. So he's also marshalling on the resources, including his ministers being on ground as well. We can just hope and pray that the casualties are minimum, but we'll have to just wait and see on the numbers, because many people are being rushed to the nearest hospitals possible. All kind of help is being given, and therefore the Union Health Minister has also asked for all medical help to be rushed to the accident site as soon as possible.
Well, let me go across to Devesh Agarwal. Thanks indeed for that update from Payal there.